Until let's talk about how we got here. When we left off, Meowmaid Squad was making animations on Drawn Below. Around mid-2020, Meowmaid Squad reanimated another animation from Pt.2, and after that video blew up, Meowmaid Squad hit 700 subscribers. With increased support, Meowmaid started working on Drawn Below, and in the end of that saga, on 2021 February 16th, Meowmaid Squad hit 1,000 subscribers. Chris the Gamer. I talked about him in my last video, and he had done many speedruns. He joined 5 years ago, and on August 28th, he set a new any % world record. He smashed the last run by 8 minutes. To give you a perspective on how fast this was, let me show you how the levels were normally done in 2020 and how Chris did them. The previous fastest route was not even close to Chris, who discovered a way to skip most of level 1. And this was just one level Chris improved on. As some may know, there are 8 levels in STICKMAN Epic 2. After all, there is a lot that went into saving 8 minutes. To say Chris was a great speedrunner would be an understatement. He was the best in 2020. In the same run, he found a new fastest way to do level 2. The previous best run went down this hole, turned the desert blue, walked around the level and did some magic, and was just magicking everywhere, then appeared here, and finally beat the level. And now let's take a look at how Chris did it. Out of the 8 levels in Days 2, Chris found new large skips for 6 of them. This run was the wonder of STICKMAN Epic 2 back in the time. It would be far too big of a scene to look at all the skips made, but this had lasting impact, and there will be more on this later. We now shift our attention to Pt.2. Last episode, I covered up until Kenshi had started Epic 5. Epic 5 came out on April 20, 2021. In Epic 5, the antagonist from Epic 2 comes back. The last episode was on July 3rd, 2021, and took a little over 3 months to finish. Without missing a beat, Pt.2 made an Epic 6 just 24 days after the end of the last series. Now, we return to the speedrun site for Epic 2. I said in the last video there were no more speedruns, but this was for the most popular category. In June 2021, there were these categories to speedrun. And in July, the first speedrun for Drawn Below was done. It had 100% collection rate. The person was familiar with the game, but it didn't differ much from a regular playthrough. And he enters this room at 18 minutes. And in the next 2 days, he did runs to beat the game as fast as he could with no glitches. Importantly, he got the first sub 35 Drawn Below on speedrun.com. This gets the Days 2 achievement speedrun. He had a best time of 28 2/3 minutes. In this run, he showed incredible skill. Even though it was 4 years ago, it is still impressive by today's standards. He entered this room at 12 minutes. But he made a big mistake while getting the pickaxe that cost him over a minute. Danny did 7 speedruns in different sections of the game. All of his runs were glitchless. After July, Danny Boy moved from STICKMAN and continued to speedrun wide assortment games for 3 years. In this time, he changed his name to STICKMAN, which is his current day name. His last speedrun was 11 months ago, perhaps retired from speedrunning, but we will look back on his runs. By April 5th of 2021, Meowmate Squad hit 2,000 subscribers and remastered the intro gameplay. The people couldn't get enough of Meowmate Squad's animations. And around her birthday, at the very end of 2021, Meowmate Squad hit 3,000 subscribers. Meanwhile, on October 14th, Pt.2 finished STICKMAN Epic 6, and that was the last story in 2021 Pt.2 made. There was a lot to look forward to for going into 2022. That episode was the last Kenshi Dude made in 2021 because he started a new series. On the 1st of January 2022, he posted STICKMAN Epic The Stickverse, where they all get transported to an alternate reality because of the antagonist Leo. And the universe shakes as Stickman alongside villains from the past and other timelines get transported to one place. Then, on January 17th, 2022, a new speedrunner beat Drawn Below in 23 minutes and 45 seconds, faster than ever before by 5 minutes. And this is how they did it.
So right away, you want to take one of the half the heart, and then you collect the leaf pencil, and you run straight into that. See that? I now have the leaf pencil out.
And this was my first video. The room that he entered in 12 minutes, I also entered at 12 minutes. And with all the skips, it was the first glitched run of Drawn Below. Now I did beat Danny Boy's unglitched time using glitches. What if I didn't use them? Well, they're two separate categories. And on January 20th, I speedran it. I was a new runner. Danny Boy was an established runner. 2 records in only 3 days? Well, in hindsight, it's pretty obvious. I had good knowledge of the map, like walking through the ink on the side instead of going around. And I was not done with the surprises. I knew a way to skip King Dragnorth without glitches, and in the same run, I found out a way to skip the rat too. I was going to beat Danny Boy's record in his own category. This was certain, but I was running for something even greater.
Oh, yes! Yes! Oh my god. Yes! Oh my god. Yeah! 2550!
These 2 records came with approbation from the speedrunning community, but this record spree wasn't over yet. A few days later, I got an improved 17-minute glitched run. However, this video is now private due to personal reasons. One day after that, Danny Boy's 100% run was being. 100% had to fight all the bosses, so no skipping Dragnorth, but the record went down from 45 to 34 minutes. This run had knowledge in the game, as well as already having practice in other runs. I got into a fistfight with the Dragon King to stall him by the trees, with many tricks such as walking through the ink here because it was faster. Though this run still had plenty of room for improvement, it still leveraged the game mechanics. Like after defeating this group of enemies, I stood under a dropping heart crystal during a cutscene, so that the separate cutscene of the heart picking up plays at the same time. Now on February 9th, I speedran 100% glitched, which no one had done before. And since no one had done it, I did this run slower than the glitchless run. I didn't take this run seriously at all, not even stating the correct time on the title.
I don't know if it was in my world record run though, but I was named Tifa or someone was named Tifa. Well, like
On February 19th, 2022, Boyum beat Chris's old run. Boyum was the first runner of any percent in a long time. He will be talked about more later. And 5 days later, Kenshi Dude released a second chapter to the Stickverse. And Second IO came back with another speedrun on the 1st of March. And it had an interesting trick.
That's the reason why. Yeah, that's the reason why this is slower than glitched, is because cutscenes, man. They're unacceptable.
And with it, it beat another one of Danny Boy's runs, bringing down the record by 4.5 minutes. Moderator at the time, STICKMAN, told me I should compete with Boyum before he started speedrunning Draw Stickman Epic 3. To which I replied with, "Oh, I got all the strats today. I have a better recorder that doesn't lag the game. I was already going to steal it anyway, with probably at least a 1-minute lead. He's toast." And 1 day later, I beat Boyum 2. First, there was a new strategy for Chapter 2. And this was how the ink mine was done. I pick up the wire pencil and then go to climb over this wall. It took me a long time to do, but once I did, I was able to do a skip. The different parts of the ink mine are laid out on the same level, so you're able to get the lift started early and finish the ink mine. March was a huge month for Draw Stickman Epic 2. First of all, a new YouTuber was working hard. His name today is STICKMAN. At the start of March, he made an animation about Chapter 4 of the game. One day after I speedran any percent, STICKMAN did a speedrun, and he waited for his run to be verified before he verified mine, kicking me off the leaderboard. He said, "Sorry, Second IO, I just wanted to see how well I could do in this category." Alright, well I guess you wouldn't mind me taking back the So I did a second any percent run, the first sub 17. And 2 days after that, STICKMAN did it again. And that was it for me. I couldn't compete for any percent anymore. No, not because I wasn't good enough. There was something different for me when I pressed the start button.
I was wrong.
It took me 7 seconds to load into a level. This was because of the phone that I had. It wasn't too good. Now for STICKMAN, it took him 4 seconds to load into the level. This multiplied by 8 levels for 8 loading screens made STICKMAN save 24 seconds when he speedran. Just like that. My sub 17 speedrun started at 2 seconds, so it was 16 minutes 47 seconds. STICKMAN beat my run with a 16:30. But if you had subtracted the 27 seconds I lost due to load times, it would have been 16:23. Now STICKMAN, who played an Exploding Kittens card on me, got beaten by Boyum on March 26th. Which came as a surprise because when I beat Boyum at first, Boyum said, "Nah, I'm most likely done with this game for now. I just wanted a world record because it was funny. GG." Well, nah. Boyum couldn't stay away from the game. And you wouldn't believe the trick that Boyum used to get this time.
Yo, I'm doing a voiceover because of technical difficulties.
That was it. He voiced over his speedrun. Now, take a look at this.
And I'm also retiming it just so I have a more specific time than like 15:57 or whatever.
Boyum gave STICKMAN a taste of his own medicine. With a 1.5 second load time, over the 8 levels, he would have saved an additional 20 seconds over STICKMAN and 44 seconds over me. But there's something else I haven't taken into account.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so now I think the timer's more.
You might have missed that. Let me play it again.
There we go. Okay.
That's actually a second loading bar, as well as loading into levels. You have to load out of levels into the main menu. And well, So Boyum saved an additional 2.5 seconds at the end of every level. So in total, he actually saved a stack of seconds. So Skittles Cat may have saved 35 seconds over me. And so it was impressive that in only 2 days, Skittles Cat was able to beat Boyum again. And Boyum was really mad about Skittles Cat basically stealing the spotlight from him. Skittles Cat was a moderator, but he didn't verify Boyum's run before his own run was verified. Also, on March 19th of 2022, I uploaded Days 2 Everything is Cursed Part 1, and there isn't really much unique about it except that it has 28,000 views. Now, remember Stickmations? He made a whopping 3 more animations while we were speedrunning. Now, speakings of animations. Up until this point, Meowmate Squad had not uploaded a video in 2022. But on April 3rd, she uploaded this. Animations are meant to be interpreted, and this animation speaks for itself. It was hard for Meowmate Squad to pursue YouTube at the time. But at April 21st, she made a comeback. She posted the opportunity for a multi-animator project, or MAP for short. Different animators would do different parts of the video. It worked like this. The video would play. The part is up in the corner. Animators would use the music from the video, and you have to animate for the length of your part. This was an ambitious project. The animators had 2 months until June 25th of 2022. There were 6 people that participated in this. Among them were me and Kenshi Dude, who were mentioned earlier in this video. But there was also a whole lot of new people who came into the light. So, this was going to be interesting. Meanwhile, on April 12th, Chris the Gamer speedran again. He found a new strategy for level 7. There were 6 records in March, bringing it from Boyum's time, which was 18 minutes, down to 15 minutes and 35 seconds. Well, the next 3 records would bring the time to beat the game down by even more than the past 6. Starting at April 23rd, 2022.
Final level. This is what changed the run completely. And this is what initially got the idea of sub 15 possible. So you can skip that door cutscene by going through. However, that makes it so this entire place doesn't rotate the same. It's weird. And also, after some point, you can just start moving outside, so you can clip out. This teleports you over there, but it doesn't trigger the cutscene because you didn't open the door. So, yeah, you don't have to watch like the 40-second cutscene of this man being like, "Oh, I'm evil. I'm gonna turn all your friends into goop."
So level 8 now had itself a large skip found by Boyum. Now Skittles Cat always came back, and 7 days later, he beat Boyum's run. But on May 7th, 2022.
PB was a 14:23. I was comparing to both that and my golds. My golds were 14:03 combined. That was my best possible time. And boom, just like that, I saved like 3 minutes. So yeah. Now chapter 4 is you don't have to do it anymore.
It was found on an old form. It was a guide to open the sketchbook during the chapter 4 cutscene to be able to pick up the paper before the bird does. And speedrunning from there became harder and the record slowed down. But there was one last barrier to be broken. In June, Boyum cut the time to 10 minutes and 13 seconds. And in August, Skittles Cat barely pushed the record forward. Skittles Cat fell just short of the sub 10-minute barrier. Skittles Cat was worthy competition, but Boyum was the most impactful speedrunner the game has ever had. Boyum got new records for brilliance in discovering game-breaking glitches and dedication. He speedran the game for 6 months from February to August. He discovered more of Stickman Epic 2 far past after the developers had completed their work. There was so much that speedrunning Stickman Epic 2 did for it, like being able to get everything faster if you have to restart your save. And the 90% speedrunning errors advancements will continue to impact the game. The Dimension map got delayed by 1 month, coming out in July 26. It had 6 animators and brought the community together. The Dimension map was ahead of its time. The map is a project that is still talked about today. However, after this map, the first 4 animators here only posted 2 to 3 more videos before quitting YouTube. Only the map organizer and the last 2 participants are still active today. And in August 4th, Second IO had speedran Drawn Below to beating it in under 5 minutes. Yes, there were more record improvements before this sub 5, but as the person who speedrun Drawn Below alone, it was the best thing to be the one discovering it all on an unbeaten path. Thus, I encourage you to start exploring glitches in Drawn Below before watching my speedruns. It's like if you played Drawn Below for the first time, again. Second IO had hit 500 subscribers in the middle of 2022, and on October 14th, he posted a video for 500 subscribers where he also reacted to the map. In this, he praised the animators for their work, and said that participating in the map is what pushed him to 500. By November, there were no new speedruns for any percent. Boyum stopped after he got the sub 10 and Second IO was speedrunning Drawn Below. But it was then when someone did, and this someone was a YouTuber who had not touched Stickman Epic 2 before. And this YouTuber was Easy Speezy, who had 2.1 million subscribers at the time.
We're speedrunning through Stickman Epic 2, and we'll start our speedrun as soon as we click on continue, and right away, might as well address the elephant in the room. My Stickman is beautiful. Yep, I worked really hard on this guy, and he's gonna be really good for us on speedrunning this game.
This was like a miracle to me. Like, all my speedrunning Stickman Epic 2 had gotten his attention. And the Stickman Epic 2 community, well, other than Boyum and me commenting on the video, the proper Stickman Epic 2 community, including the Discord, didn't really care. And it's a shame this YouTuber covered Stickman Epic 2, and how many times was he thanked? Let me dedicate a moment of silence to Easy Speezy for speedrunning Stickman Epic 2 and for putting me in his video. Meowmaid posted an animation in December, and Kenshi Dude had completed 7 episodes of the Stickverse by the end of 2022. All the while, the animator STICKMAN had been busy animating a dozen animations, including Drawn Below, remaking the levels of Stickman Epic 2, and uploading on Christmas a Stickman Epic 1 winter level animation. On January 4th, 2023, I took back the record for any percent. It wasn't a major improvement, there wasn't many new strategies. It was just that. Now, 2023 was not as eventful as 2022, though there were still some big things that happened. We skip over to April, where Meowmaid Squad posted her first major video. And I'm not going to repeat it for every video you see here, but totally, you can go check these out. This one is a good animation. And on April 26th, our animating friend STICKMAN started speedrunning. He went to Chapter 2 The Wasteland, and using this strategy where he would fly up, he got the world record for Chapter 2. This was an individual level speedrun. And on May 20th of 2023, Pt.2 uploaded the last episode of the Stickverse. The Stickverse was complete and started on January of 2022. It took 1 year, 4 months, and 20 days to finish. Pt.2 now had years of animating experience. The Stickverse was a much longer series with longer episodes than his previous ones. After that, the official HitSense YouTube channel posted a video about Draw Stickman Epic 2 on June 23rd. Your favorite things about Draw Stickman, plus a very large update soon. This video title saying that we listened and 2023 will be big. And on the first day of August, a Draw Stickman Epic 2 news video was posted. It recapped the month of July. A Book of Seasons button started appearing for people in Draw Stickman Epic 2. And on August 21st, HitSense released another video on their channel. It was a teaser for the Summer Isle update. And 1 month later...
Woo! Oh! Very hard. Wow!
So it was the first major update in 7 years. The impact of the Book of Seasons update was big for the Days community. It brought many people back, as well as bringing up a new Draw Stickman Epic YouTuber. His name was Inky. His first Draw Stickman Epic 2 video was on Summer Isle, and also the update that brought Summer Isle changed the physics of the game. So much so that on speedrun.com, versions 1.0 through 1.4 are a separate category from 1.5 plus. On September 2nd, Meowmate Squad made another episode to her series, The London Story Archive. And I don't have anything to say about it, it's just one of Meowmate Squad's videos. And in October 2023, there was an exciting event on the Discord server. A person named A Dragon Cat made a list for each day of October. People would post theme creations based on a list. There was one prompt for each day of October. And people who completed a drawing for every prompt of the month would get a special Draw Stickman Epic 2 themed notebook. But shortly after November, disaster struck. HitSense had a complete disaster during the development of another addition to Draw Stickman Epic 2. Which would be called the Winter Isle, and would be the next season to the game. And right before Winter Isle was finished, the Draw Stickman Epic team got laid off. Winter Isle was not completed, and the Draw Stickman community was let down. In 2024, the YouTubers started making the videos that they do today. Pt.2 was working on his next series called Facing the Demon, where the Stickman from Draw Stickman Epic 2 would hop into a separate world with a modern city and slowly discover that the people who were running it were trying to revive a powerful demon, and they tricked Stickman into working with it. Meowmate Squad continued animated their own story based on Draw Stickman and started making music videos in 2024. Stickmation started speedrunning the 1.5 version of Draw Stickman Epic 2, including Summer Isle. And Inky would upload many Draw Stickman Epic 2 videos. And I hit 1,000 subscribers and started to make some informative videos in my own style that were very heavily focused on Draw Stickman Epic 2, the game, and also just random stuff. And in 2025, we all knew that Draw Stickman Epic 2 was nearing its 10-year anniversary. Pt.2 moved forward with Facing the Demon, releasing the 5th episode before the 10th anniversary, and we all celebrated it. And I was in the middle of making this very series that you're watching right now. And to end off, this really was the longest produced video that I've ever made. And this video is so big that for the first time, I legitimately have credits to give at the end of this video. Backwoods Alabama, polka-dot pajamas, grandpa raising up the biggest flag. His mathematics were tragic, but his vision was magic. Watch him chop a cherry tree in half. Now come on, get it ready. Now come on, get it ready now. Now come on, Get it ready, cause it's gonna stick around like a 57 Chevy. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh.